Here I am back again. And what I'm going to be talking about today is there was this email that an agency sent out to a bunch of bloggers, and they asked for a quote, asking, I mean, obviously, I hope it's not obvious, but a lot of agencies tend to send out emails as CC to, 20 bloggers, 50 bloggers, and the ones who've obviously seen a lot of that usually will do a reply just to the agency and not do a reply all, hopefully. There was this one blogger who responded with a reply all with their rates, and I was kind of appalled at the rates. Now, I mean, it's your blog, it's your pricing. You can do whatever you want. You can ask for whatever you want. But the rate she had mentioned was 5,000 rupees, and that would include a blog post. It would include social media updates. It would include high resolution photos that she wasn't photographing. Someone else would be photographing for her, and she would wear the brand's clothes, pose in them, and she would give them high resolution photos, and the brand could use it however they pleased. And her blog is not exactly, it's not a new blog. It's been around for a while, and I like her work. I mean, that coming from me is quite rare. Usually I don't really like a lot of Indian bloggers' work, but I really like her work, and I had been following her blog, and I was shocked when I saw those rates. See, I mean, it's the things that a blogger charges for, okay? There's photography. Hopefully you're paying your photographer, unless you have a sister like I have a Kanksha, and I shoot for her, she shoots for me, and we settle it over a beer or a coffee. So that's cool, that's family. But if you are running this as a business, even if it is a Kanksha, for example, I should technically be paying her. But it's family, so we settle it, that's fine. But you have a photographer, you're paying. You're hosting your website on a hosting provider. I use DreamHost, for example, and I pay DreamHost for my website to be hosted. If you're getting decent amounts of traffic, you'll probably be on a service like managed WordPress hosting. I pay for that as well, in addition to hosting charges. You pay for your domain registration costs, like my nana.co costs a certain amount of money every year. Then you pay for, you pay for the time that you're spending editing the images or having it photographed, or the cost of styling, or you spending money on the fuel that you go to a store and you pick up that stuff and you come back and you wear it and you have it shot, and if you have a photographer, they need to eat, you need to eat. And of course, if you're running it as a business, there's a business expense involved there. You're running a business out of a space. That space has rent that you need to pay. You have other expenses, makeup expenses. Even if you're doing the makeup on your own, you are purchasing that makeup. I don't see how 5,000 rupees is covering that cost, especially if you are creating content that a brand's marketing, PR, or digital agency cannot produce. For example, okay, let's take an example of where I think maybe 50,000 is a fair price for a blog story with original content, great photographs, and with a blog that has a decent reach, like you're getting about 30 to 40,000 views per month, page views. I'm not saying that's what it should be, but this is what I think. So if you're doing that, you are not only providing original content to the brand, which you're basically giving away for free, you are also running at a loss. I think as bloggers, we should really look at what our costs are. It's not just saying, oh, hey, bloggers in Bombay charge 10,000 bucks, bloggers in Delhi charge 15,000 bucks. So I'm a blogger in Baroda or, a smaller town, so I can't charge more than 2,500 bucks. That's not true. If you are producing good content and, oh my God, this blogger produces great content, talk to other bloggers. I mean, I don't really get too many calls, which is really strange. You should just ask. I mean, the way I work, it's quite transparent, and costing is based on what I'm delivering, how many images are there, what the licensing of those images is. Yes, images have licensing. you need to factor in all these costs. Brands derive value from what you're producing, from the images that you make, the blog post that talks about the brand, and in many cases it's a brand which your audience is not aware of. So you're introducing, you're doing their marketing, you're doing their advertising, you're doing their PR. You're also giving them content which they can use to do their own internal marketing, PR, and the digital agencies can use. So you're essentially creating a campaign for them. That's what bloggers charge for. And you're also then being a brand advocate. I mean, it's you're endorsing the brand. Ideally, you should endorse a brand or work with a brand that you would normally work with, even if you didn't have a commercial arrangement with them. For example, I now do not work with fast fashion brands. It's just not, I don't feel comfortable wearing their clothes in real life, and I don't see why, even if they have a shitload of money to pay me, I should endorse their brand, because I don't unless I can go to their factories and I can see. And I'm more than happy if there's a fast fashion brand that thinks that this is an unfair decision. They can, as they could do a campaign around inviting bloggers to their factories. I mean, can you imagine how amazing that would be? A fast fashion brand which is basically saying that, hey, you know what, bloggers, come to our factories, we're going to pay for everything, do a story for us, we're going to hire you to do it, and go and see what our factories are like, and where they don't control the editorial content. I mean, that would be fantastic. That would be like, I would be a fan for life, and not just working with them. I would shop from them. I mean, I don't care if you're a blogger or not a blogger. Everyone needs clothes to wear, and I'm going to buy them somewhere. I'd rather buy them from a brand that I trust in. And seriously, no 5,000 for a blog post with photos, and and especially when you're hot. The chick is hot, okay? And I mean, I'm like, if I was as hot as her, I'd be charging way more than I already charge, and I already charged a lot more. So, okay, that's another rant for today. See you later.